Gardening is one of my favorite pastimes, but it can also be intimidating. These are my favorite tips and tricks to make your garden experience this season the very best. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and share your comments with me below because I'd love to hear what your tips and tricks are. Soil is definitely not a one-size-fits-all case. Let me show you what I mean. There's really nothing worse than working so hard to create the perfect potted plant only to have it die later due to inadequate soil. Traditional garden soil doesn't give potted plants enough aeration or moisture, but you can adapt it to make it work for you. So I'm going to give you the perfect recipe for your own container soil. I've got 4 parts of potting plant soil here. To that, I'm going to add 1 part of sawdust. You could also add rotted sawdust or humus. Then from there, I'm going to add 2 parts of fine composted bark. Then after that, I'm going to add a handful of slow release fertilizer, just 1 handful per pot. Now we're going to mix that. The main thing you really need here is something to create aeration in your soil to prevent root rot. If the all-purpose soil that you purchase contains slow release fertilizer, then you won't need to add any of your own for 8 weeks. I'd love to know, do you have any all-purpose recipes of your own for your container pots? Let me know in the comments below. And for more gardening tips like this, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Want to learn how to weed without weeding? Let me show you. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you my favorite way to deal with weeds when the season begins. No uprooting required. To start, you'll need a lot of cardboard, which you can often get for free at bike shops, grocery stores, and random dumpsters near you. Alternatively, you can use thick layers of newspapers. Early in the season, lay the cardboard over the weedy area that you want to garden. Then cover the cardboard with a thick layer of mulch, compost, straw, grass clippings, and the like. Without light, the weeds will die. In the meantime, the cardboard will begin to deteriorate. Check every few weeks to see if the cardboard has rotted and the soil is pliable. How easy was that? This method also works for bulbs that you plant in the fall that you want to come up in the spring because the cardboard will have disintegrated in time. Have any garden hacks like this? Share them with me in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more. Take care of your garden tools, and they will take care of you. If you're like me, the last thing you want to do after a day gardening is clean your gardening tools. But if you want them to last longer, you have to give them a little love from time to time. So here are a few tips on how to maintain your equipment. First, always rinse the soil off of digging tools after each use. It's as easy as making a pit stop at the garden hose. Just be sure to dry thoroughly. A stiff brush hanging by the tap makes for an even more thorough cleaning. The brush doesn't have to be anything fancy. Even a barbecue brush will work. Another good tip is to have a bucket of sand moistened with linseed oil in your garage that you can just dump your tools into. The blades will get sharpened by the sand, and it'll also help prevent rust. You want to use about half a cup for a gallon-sized tub like this. The other good thing about linseed oil is that it works really good on wooden handles. So be sure to moisten a rag, have one hanging out near your tools, and wipe down that wood after each use. And most important of all, be sure to hang your tools up. Don't leave them hanging out on the floor. Remember that moisture is the enemy here. How do you maintain your garden tools? I'd love to know. Leave a comment below. And for more tips like this, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're like me, you like to play in the dirt. Let me show you how to clean the dirtiest of hands. Do you have any tips for getting serious dirt off your hands? Share it with me in the comments. And for more modern pioneering tips like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. In case you haven't noticed, succulents have become a big deal. Here are a few tips to help yours thrive. With their beautiful colors and easy maintenance, succulents are no longer taking a backseat to traditional plants. Defined by the water that they store in their leaves, they're easy to propagate. They come in a huge array of varieties and textures, and it makes them the perfect choice for practically everyone. There are 3 key things you need to know: water, soil, and sunlight. Let's plant one together. Succulents need a soil that drains well. So I'm gonna start by putting some rocks or pebbles in the bottom of my container. Once you have that in there, you're gonna need a soil that's specifically designed for succulents. So my soil is 2/3 dirt and 1/3 sand. It's really simple. Now you could also add perlite. Perlite adds a little extra aeration into the potted plant. So let's fill that up real well. Go about halfway up. Now you're gonna wanna add your succulents. And be careful here. Loosen the bottoms just a bit. Add a little another guy here. All right, we're gonna fill that around. Now, you're gonna wanna resist the temptation to water this right away. You're gonna wanna wait about a week. I know it's gonna be hard, but don't do it. Now you can add some rocks to the top. Weigh some of that soil down. Now here's one extra little tip. If some of your leaves fall off, don't throw them out. Stick them into the soil and add a little bit of water, and roots are gonna actually grow, so you'll have a new succulent. Lastly, sunlight is so important. If they're outside, you wanna have at least 6 hours of indirect sunlight. Now, if they're indoors, you wanna give them as much light as possible. Put them near a window where they can get bright sunlight all day long. Now, when it is time to water, remember to let the soil dry out completely. Don't kill them with kindness. If you do see the leaves pucker, water more deeply, not more often. For more modern pioneering garden tips, like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.